Hi, good evening. I hope you guys are keeping well. So today I'm just going to conclude the concluding the end part of the poem that we were doing, Refugee Blues. Let's just go to page number 74. Um, Although this exercise has a lot of writing practices that you have to do, but at the same point in time, I think you before you are in a position to answer, and I think some of you are confused about what was this story about, this poem about. The question that we have on page number 74 is talking about Holocaust. This poem is about anti-Semitism. In if you want me to explain it in short. So anti-Semitism was the drive which was started by Adolf Hitler, who was a self-styled leader of Germany, and this all this episode started after the Second World War, and it started from 1941 and it went on till 1945. The whole reason of anti-Semitism it was to abolish and basically I should say eradicate Jews. Jews is a religious community, like how we have Muslims and Christians and Hindus. So Jews is a different religious community, and Hitler was against the Jews. His idea to eradicate the Jews came because he thought that the First World War was and when Germany was defeated, he was blaming the Jews. Let's just not get into that, but I just want you to get an idea about what is going on. So this is how it started, and when he became the styled ruler of Germany, his main motto was to finish all the Jews in any manner that he could. At that time, the entire population of Jews was around 1% of Germany, and they had come from different parts, and then Jews were in other countries also, and when other countries of Europe also, and when World War II started, Germany was able to conquer other European countries like Netherlands, like Poland, and France, and in that way he started. Uh, the atrocities on Jews started with that. So around 5 million 25,000 Jews were either forced to leave Germany. Some of them did manage to leave Germany. They migrated and they became refugees, as we can understand by the poem that we did. And but some part of the Jews they decided to stay back, or they could not move. And so there was the anti-Semitism started like a hatred process, and Hitler started, uh, you know, dividing the Jews with non-Jews. So what he did initially, what he did is that he started restricting their civil rights. The Jews could not travel in the same public bus as non-Jews. They could not meet non-Jews. They could not come out of their houses after 8 o'clock. They could not go in the same public place to watch movies or go for shopping, grocery shopping, or any shopping like other non-Jews. So a Jew could shop only from a Jew shop, and a Jew could talk only with a Jew. They were not allowed to talk with other non-Jews. Their children could not go in the same school. They had different schools. Initially, this is how the segregation, the division started. And then slowly, what he did is that he started tagging every Jew with a yellow star. So if you are a Jew, even if you are if it's a Jew baby, or anyone or an adult, you have to wear a yellow star on your jacket or a coat, which indicated that you are not welcome or you're not part of the German community. And as Hitler always wanted to uplift his community and his race, the German race, and he started tagging them as Aryans. Interestingly, there's a small community of Aryans in Ladakh also. So find out about it and let me know. You can just give me an answer on Google Classroom, or let's see what you know about that. How are they connected with the Germans? You can tell me that. So this is how he started. For him, his race was supreme, and he started calling it as Aryanization. And this is how the story started. And in that process, millions and thousands of Jews were killed under the most inhuman conditions that you can ever imagine. So now the story started about what happened after that. So as the anti-Semitism started growing, and when the Second World War started, so between 1941 and 1945, these the Jews were started they started sending these Jews to concentration camps. They started building these concentration camps, and basically these concentration camps were meant to tagline these Jews as old, as handicapped, as sick, and that was a way to kill them. So one of the biggest concentration camps in Germany is in Auschwitz. They call it Auschwitz, and where they had at least four gas chambers. So gas chamber is nothing but it's an enclosed iron or steel enclosure. It's almost like a room, but there is no entry. So once anyone goes in, you can close, and then there's no point they can come out of it. And then they would pour some poisonous gas, sometimes in the gas chamber, and they were gassed. They died of suffocation, and all these bodies were burnt in the chimneys. Like how you have a brick chimney where you go to bake your bricks. There's a place, it's a process where baking of bricks is done. So they used to burn all the bodies. There was a time when almost 6,000 Jews were killed in one single day in the concentration camps. And the leftover, whoever was left, people who were lucky, I should say, who were not killed, they died of starvation, and they lived in one of the most um, insanitary conditions that you can even imagine, and most of them died of typhus as a disease. So basically, by the end of the World War, and by the end of 1945, when Germany finally surrendered, because there was a lot of pressure from Red Cross and other countries, we they there was not a very good population of Jews left in Germany. So in a way, when you this lockdown has given you ample time to read, I would suggest you to read an autobiography of a young girl who died in one of the concentration camps. And this is one of the widely read books in the world, The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank. Please read. She was a Jew, her parents were Jews, and this is a story about what happened to her and her family before she died. And the autobiography of Adolf Hitler is also very interesting. People who are interested in reading um, Me Kampf, you can read that also. That will give you a better picture about what his ideas were. So now I think you will understand why the poet was forced to write a poem, because when he saw all these refugees, he's referring to Jews as refugees, and when they migrated from Germany to other places, what was their perception. So, question number A: the Holocaust in which Hitler played an important role is the biggest background of this poem. We can understand why this poem was written, and this was all because of the Holocaust and because why Jews were forced to leave their country. Um, Watch videos of some of his speeches available on the internet. You can just Google it or go to YouTube and you can watch some of his speeches. Adolf Hitler was a crowd puller. He could talk to millions of people at one time, and they would just listen to him. He was a very good orator, very good speaker. Ask your teacher to help you find videos. So I'm just going to give you this activity. You can just do it yourself. It is not very difficult to find on the internet. It says his speeches were in German, and you won't necessarily understand what you hear him saying, but you don't need to understand. Nowadays, yeah, of course, we have subtitles, so you can understand whatever he was talking in German. It is translated. You need to know the meaning of the speech, but what really the objective of this activity is, what emotion does Hitler expect to arouse in his audience? How can he arouse so many people? How can he convince so many Germans that whatever he was doing was right? How can he convince a good amount of people that the other section of the community are not should not be alive? So, what do you feel when you listen to this speech? Please give me your. This is a project that I want you to submit by, let's say, 15th of June, 15th of June. So, either you can write it or you can upload a video of 2 to 3 minutes, or you can write about what you feel about it and upload it on Google Classroom after you listen to the video. Evaluate Hitler as a speaker using this table. The table here shows what kind of a speaker was he. Was he an excellent speaker? Was he good? Was he good enough to convince the crowd of whatever he was saying, and was he able to make them believe that whatever he wanted for Germany was good and correct? Tell me about it. This is a project. This is a written work that I want you to just write your ideas about how when you listen to the speech in 150 words. This also has to be submitted by 15th of June on Google Classroom. Okay. Page number 75. Now listen to the speeches again. Keep these points in mind. This is very interesting and very, I should say, important. This is I think it's opening up as you guys are growing, and your literary skills are just developing. I think this is a very good opportunity for you to open a new window, to know what was going on in the world, what is going on, and what happened in the world, in history. Freedom of expression is important. Do you think that it is very important to express what you feel, particularly when we are living in a democratic country? I think this is one of the aspects of democracy, that freedom of speech is very, very important. But do we as a society know where to draw the line between expressing our views and beliefs and attacking someone else for their views? It is very easy to criticize people, I should say, um, in general and politically also. But do you think that there should be a fine line between criticizing, or should we be open to it? What are your views? I want you to write your views in 100 words. These are important questions. I want to know how you're writing. Basically, this is an evaluation of understanding your writing skills. This comes in critical writing. You should be in a position to write about something, and be in a position to criticize about it positively, in a healthy way. So please do use. Don't worry if there's something wrong with the grammar. Don't worry if you're learning. I'm there to fix that. But what I want you to do is that you have to write. आपको लिखना है. आप जितना अच्छे से लिखेंगे, मैं आपके ख्यालात जानना चाहती हूँ. मुझे आपके ग्रामेटिकल स्किल्स को अभी नज़रअंदाज करके आपके अंदर के जो आपके अंदर क्या चल रहा है, मुझे उसमें ज़्यादा दिलचस्पी है. I'm more interested in what is going on, inside. So let's just keep the grammar part aside. But I want to know what you want to write and what is your capability as a writer. It is wonderful to be a good orator. It is very good to be a good speaker. But should or speaking skills allow us to hurt and demean other people? Do you think because we can talk well, so should we be insulting and demean other people, or should it be used to uplift and encourage people? Should our talent as an orator, as a speaker, whatever God has blessed us with, should we use it to uplift others? One of the examples that I'm going to give you is that you have these TED Talks. Please go to YouTube and watch these TED Talks. These are inspirational speeches given by people who have struggled a lot to achieve what they have and where they're standing today after a lot of trials and difficulties. Another form of TED Talk is Josh Talks that comes. It's a form of TED Talk in India. So please try to watch these inspirational speeches, to boost up your morale. So this is the question, and what do you think about it? Should you be using your skills to insult and discourage someone, or to encourage someone in 120 words? Is being a good speaker one of the essential qualities of a great leader? How many of you actually love listening to speeches from a good leader? Not necessarily a political leader, but any leader who can convince his crowd. Can you name some great leaders who were also very good speakers? According to in your opinion, can you tell me some of the leaders? So write that in 100 words. Conversely, when you're talking with each other, great orators, great speakers do not necessarily make great leaders. And do you agree with this statement? Can you cite an example from history? Some people say that people who are very good in speaking do not make very good leaders. So if you have any idea about someone, let me know. So just write the. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? Just write that in 100 words and why. Excuse me. Page number 6, 76. C part. Keeping in mind the points given in activity B, re-evaluate Hitler as a speaker using the table. Okay, you can just leave it. No need to do that. Okay, page number 76, section A. Auden's, W.H. Auden, the poet, reference to Hitler in the poem points towards the exodus and mass migration of German Jews to other countries. This is what I was talking about, anti-Semitism. The result of the atrocities was that whatever Germans were left, they decided to move out of Germany, leading to gross violation of, but this was one of the, I should say, best examples of human rights violation. In this context, hold a class debate on one of these topics: the end of an action justifies the means, or violation of human rights in today's world has become the norm. So because we are not in a position to do a debate, I will convert this debate into a speech. This is a project. You have to make a speech on either of the two topics. So these are and speak about it for 3 to 4 minutes. Make a video and upload it on Google Classroom by 17th of June. Okay. Most of you are not, I think, are not interested to submit your homework or assignments or projects. But I would just like to remind that everything that you are uploading counts. You get marks for it. Do not blame me at the end of the session. Even if we are living in a virtual classroom, till the academic session ends. I'm not to be blamed for whatever marks you're getting. So you'll score whatever you are presenting basically. So please make a mind. It's okay if your work is a little late. I can understand that, but just not showing up doesn't mean I have no way to grade you, assess you basically. Some of the points given here, guidelines to follow the debate, can be used in your speech making also. So basically, when you're starting a speech, you need to give an introduction about what are you talking, what is the topic about, your name, class, section, and at the same point in time, you can start the speech, let's say with a phrase, with some part of someone's speech that inspired you, something interesting at the end, and at the end, greet everybody, say hello, good afternoon, whatever you can, and at the end, just say thank you. That would be a proper way to start and finish the speech in 3 to 4 minutes on 17th of June. All right. Okay. Here are some do's and don'ts. Be polite. Okay, you can read that later. Right. So page number 77 is an essay. I believe I have given this project earlier also. Um, there's a question. This is another project that I wanted to do. What do you know about the Holocaust? Whatever I explained, you can take help from Google also. But don't make a habit of going to Google for everything. You can use your brains also by reading some books. Nowadays, I think bookshops are open, so if you can buy some of the books, yeah. But for this, I think you'll have to, but not necessarily for everything. When and why did it happen? Which group was targeted and by whom? And what were these concentration camps? I want you to write about it in 200 words and submit it by 17th of June.